Hi, I'm Jason from StrataGames. Today we're playing some more Pauper. I'm playing GlintBlade, one of my favorite decks to play. I thought about doing something interesting with it, like playing Black Mage's Rod or something, but to be honest, I don't think Black Mage's Rod is very good in the deck. We play 20 creatures, 20 lands, so that only leaves 20 non-creature spells. A lot of them are card draw, but it just doesn't feel like the best card ever. Yeah, you can pick up the artifact to one of your Glinthawks or your Core Skyfishers, and you can replay it, get another guy, but I don't know, it just doesn't seem great for me. So this is pretty much the exact 75 that I have in paper. Again, it's a deck that I really enjoy playing, so that's what we're doing. So we use our Skyfishers and Glinthawks to pick up Lembas to gain card advantage, or Tithing Blade or Grim Bauble to remove their creatures, or Refurbished Familiar to remove cards from their hand. We also play a good amount of removal in Cast Down, other than the Tithing Blade and the Grim Baubles. I have a 1 of Thraben Charm in the main deck and several more in the sideboard. For more card advantage, we have 7 Inspectors, which are fantastic. Omen of the Dead can pick up a Core Skyfisher from the graveyard, and the Skyfisher can pick up the Omen from the battlefield, and you can loop those together. We have a little bit more card draw in 2 Eviscerators, Insight, 2 Fanatical Offering, and then 1 of Suffocating Fumes and an Okiba-Gang Shinobi. A little old school, but I still really like this. People don't really expect it at this point in the meta, and so you can really get them with it a lot of the time. We have 4 Dust to Dust, those 3 Thraben Charms, an Arms of Hadar, and a Suffocating Fumes, 4 Duress, and 2 Navigator's Compass, which is absolutely phenomenal against any sort of burn opponent. As for our lands, we have 8 Artifact lands, Ancient Dens, and Vault of Whispers to make the Refurbished Familiars cheaper. We have some utility lands, Bojuka Bog, Forlorn Flats, and Kabira Crossroads, all of which we can pick up with the Norjav Basilica, or if we really need, with a Core Skyfisher. And then we have some basic lands. So let's take the deck for a spin and see how we do. We're on the play here, and 6 lands is not going to cut it. Far too many. No lands is not going to cut it either. And this is 1 land on 5 cards. We're on the play. What a phenomenal start. I don't think this is going to cut it. We have a lot of value in our deck, so maybe we can make it on 4, but this is obviously going to be rough. We have to keep at least 2 lands. Let's make it the Vault of Whispers so that we can at least play a Refurb if we get it, and the Forlorn Flats, a Lembas, and a Fanatical, maybe even the Eviscerators for the as much value as possible. We're going to put back these 3. That's what we're going to try. Not how you like to see it start, but hopefully we'll be alright. Against red, it could be a tough one. We do have a good amount of life gain in our main deck, Lembas being a prime example of that, so we'll see. 2 Skyfishers, I mean, it's really good value, but we do need to hit land drops. Like if I just play Skyfisher and then spend a next turn Lembasing and they just bolt the Skyfisher, it's kind of a bad spot, so I think we need to get rid of that. Get a Glinthawk anyway. Grab the prize with the Snacker. And swing for 1. We get another Lembas. So I could just Skyfisher as a blocker, but they just bolt it. I might just try to get another land here. There's the Ancient Den. That's not bad. That lets us play Glinthawk right away. Pick up a Lembas. So this blocks the Epic here, or it eats a bolt. Just swing with the Snacker. I think we just gotta let that go, since a Skyfisher will block it nicely till it eats a bolt. They grab the prize with a Lava Dart, and then another Epicure. Basilica's not bad. I think we just want to pick up untapped lands, so let's just play a Skyfisher, pick up this Lembas, play the Basilica, pick up an Ancient Den, and pass. I mean, they still have 5 cards in hand and we're at 11, so I don't know. I don't really feel like we're going to win this one, but we were recovering relatively nicely from our mulligan. They attack here because they can just Lava Dart the Skyfisher, but I'm fine with that. They can also just get it back with the Grab the Prize. There's the Dart, play a Mountain, and another Epicure. Suffocating Fumes would be exactly what we need right here. I can play a Lembas and then Refurb. I mean, unfortunately, Refurb might just give them a Fiery Temper for free. But I think we have to, and we'll keep this Inspector because it's a blocker. So let's play the Refurb. No, they discard a Mountain. That's good. Okay, so I can crack a Lembas here, or I can play a blocker. Kind of feels like I want to crack the Lembas. Yeah, it's more mana efficient, and also I just feel like I might die to some burn, so we'll do that and pass. I am going to block the Snacker this time, I think. I know they can get it back with some blood tokens, if not something else, like the Faithless Looting, but kind of got to preserve our life total a little bit. They discard another Snacker, that is annoying. And then Highway Robbery with a 3rd. Phenomenal. Well, that's probably going to do it. Unless we get a Suffocating Fumes. Tithing Blade, about the worst thing we can get. Lembas for the Fumes. Nope. Flats. I mean, I guess Tithing Blade saves us a couple life on one of these Snackers. No, they don't even bother. They just get rid of an Epicure. Play an Inspector. Swing with everybody. We'll block 2 of them. They got a Gutter Snipe and a Lava Dart. So we get Navigator's Compass. We'll get another Fumes. I don't know if it's actually amazing, because, like, it was obviously good there, but they drew 3 of their 4 Epicures and 3 of their 4 Snackers, and other than those, that might be the only guys that it actually hits, so I don't actually know we need that. Graven Charm's good, though, to actually blow up their guys. Cast Down and Baubles are all decent to get Gutter Snipes and the like. I don't know if Tithing Blade's quite as good. Cut a couple Inspectors. Whew, this hand is not very good either. I guess we're going to keep it because we're on the play, but, like, what we have here is turn 3 Inspector with Cracking the Clue. Otherwise, pretty much nothing, but as soon as we draw, like, a Compass or a Lembas or something, we're in the money a little bit. Fanatical Offering's not bad. I'm just going to play the Basilica because we need this white mana. They plot a Robbery. Refurb with currently no artifacts. So I'm going to play Inspector, and because this is a Basilica, I have to use my 2 mana now. I could crack this Clue, but then I'm actually still with no artifacts for this Refurb. So I actually think that I play this Offering on the Inspector right away, so that I can actually play a Refurb. Like, if they play something that I can bauble, Refurb, Glinthawk, Refurb again next turn, so that's pretty decent. They discard a Fiery Temper with the Robbery, not as bad as a Snacker. Potentially, although we do want to bauble something. But they don't have anything to bauble. We could leave open a Thraben Charm. Well, I guess in that case we just want to Lembas, probably. Novice Inspector. We don't need more things to cast with white until we at least get a second land here. Let's play the Familiar. They discard a Snacker now. And we'll Glinthawk. If they want to take this out, I can just pick up that Lembas, so I'm not too concerned with it. They also bolt us. Would definitely prefer to find a Compass before we use up all of these bounce guys, though. So we are dying quickly. There's a Grab the Prize. Bring back the Snacker. Cast down. Okay, well, let's play Lembas here. There's a Compass, so I want to bauble this. Saves 2 life, so probably. Yeah, we have a cast down for something worse, so let's just play the bauble, pick this guy off, play a Compass, gain 3, play a Glinthawk. They Lava Dart us. We'll pick up the Compass, and we'll swing for 2. Compass is just good because it's kind of like a slow Weather the Storm, right? At 3 life per 1 mana you spend, and every time you can pick it up with one of these guys. And as long as we can survive a couple extra turns beyond what they will, try to make us survive, we can often take the game because we just overwhelm them with guys, and we can gain a bunch of life and stuff. And they run out of value. They do get a Snacker and a Fiery Temper. Not the worst. They do have 2 mana up now, so if they have a Cast into the Fire or a Smash to Smithereens for the Compass, that's a little annoying. We do have an Insight to at least get rid of it if it is a Smash, though. So let's just start by attacking for 4. Play Compass. Play Skyfisher. Pick it back up, and we'll just pass with the Insight up, or the Lembas up, whichever we need. There's the Gutter Snipe. They have 2 Lava Darts in the graveyard. I mean, I can't do anything about it unless I want to blow up their graveyard in response here, which is not a bad idea, because 2 Lava Darts is 6 life, 6 damage. So we're at a virtual 8. If they have a Fire Blast, that puts us to 2. If they have anything else, we die. I think taking out their graveyard here is the right call. It also gets rid of a Snacker and a Faithless Looting, so, like, just a lot of stuff. But I lost the other day. I was so annoyed, because I pretty much had control of the situation. I was at 12 life. And I lost because my opponent played a Gutter Snipe, and they had 4 Lava Darts in their graveyard, and I couldn't do anything about it, and that's 12 damage right there. So they do Lava Dart us twice, but for 2 damage, I'm not too concerned with that, and they also do lose 2 mountains. They'd have to have, like... Well, they have a Lightning Bolt. They have to have 7 damage here, though. I don't know how they would have 7 with 1 spell. Even a Fire Blast would only be 6, unless they have a Goblin Grenade, I suppose. But they'd have to sacrifice this as a cost, so it wouldn't actually trigger, so that wouldn't work either. Maybe they miscounted when they were going for it, but... I mean, we're close, but we're definitely going to play this Compass, kill this Gutter Snipe, and we also have this Lembas up. I assume it's a Fire Blast and they were just 1 off, but we were able to survive there. I don't hate Duress in this type of a matchup because you can take a Fire Blast or something that's going to do a lot of damage, so maybe I should take out, like, a couple of these Insights. We don't need to draw that many cards, and we don't need to go that late. Especially on the draw here, I think a couple of the Duresses aren't bad. I mean, I don't think I'm throwing this back. It looks good because we have the life gain, but we don't have a lot else going on other than Compasses and like 1 cast down and Glinthawk, but that's what we're doing. Duress isn't bad. If I play Vault, then they can maybe blow it up if they have 2 artifact removal spells. But if I Duress now and they only have one like grab the prize, I could maybe take it away, which could slow down a snacker significantly. I think it's worth it. Grab the prize. They do have a Faithless Looting, but yes, we can take the grab the prize so they can't get snacker out this turn, and they can't hit us for the 2. So that was pretty good. They're just gonna play the Flame Breather, which we can just cast down, which we will do. Draw another grab the prize. I mean, that's pretty good for them. Find a mountain. We get a vault. So let's just play a compass. Glint Hawk to pick it up. I don't think I need to replay it this turn, so I'll get down my tap land. This is also good if they have like a Gorilla Shaman or something to blow up our lands, which seems unlikely, but that's always a possibility. They're gonna swing. We know they have the Faithless Looting, and I don't really want to lose this guy, so we're just gonna take it. We're probably gonna want a Faithless Looting anyway, so there it is. Get rid of another Faithless and a Fiery Temper. To the face, they play a land, and they have a Searing Blaze. Well, that is annoying. Forlorn Flats, yeah, so we're just gonna play Compass, and I think I'm just gonna sacrifice it since we have another one. Try to draw for something. Fumes isn't terrible, Inspector's not terrible either, but neither is quite what we need. Lembas would be a good one because that draws us and gains us more life. Skyfisher wouldn't be bad. Removal for the Gutter Snipe wouldn't be bad. Flats is not it. Refurb, I guess that's something. They discarded the Lava Dart. And because I'm legitimately worried we might die here, because they've got Faithless Looting, Lava Dart. I guess we're pretty far from it, but still. I'm just going to play out the Compass. Start with a Robbery. Okay. They could attack with a Snacker first, but fair enough. Sack a mountain. Play a mountain. Lava Dart the Familiar. I guess that's fair if they knew they were going to take that out. They swing with both. Can't really chump, I don't think. Guess we'll take it. And a Fiery Temper. I mean, if they have Fire Blast, we're dead. And they always have it, so. Unfortunate start, but that's how it goes. All right, we're on the play again. This one's not amazing, but it seems reasonable enough, I guess. I do like to have a good amount of lands, but I'd prefer one of these to be a Vault of Whispers so we get the Familiar down earlier. Some other stuff, but we gain life. Next turn we play Inspector Basilica. Seems okay. We're against Fairies. Well, that changes things a little bit. I think we'll just Tithing Blade them, slow them down a little bit. I was thinking about casting it down, but I didn't really love that, but Tithing Blade's good. Oh, there is it. Fairies. Lorien revealed off the Augur. So I could Lembas here, I could cast down. I think I'll Lembas and Inspector so I can block this. Flats, we don't need any more lands. Glint Hawk. I have the feeling that they might just kill this with like a Scred so they can get in, so I'm just going to play the Inspector. Also, this allows us to like Familiar, Hawk, Familiar next turn if we want. Cycle the Lorien. They suplex our guy. Get in for 1, that's not really a concern to me. So yeah, we're going to Familiar, Glint Hawk, Familiar. And they just concede. Okay, pretty aggressive I think, but maybe they didn't have anything going on. They concede the whole match. That's interesting. I don't know if that's a particularly terrible matchup against them or anything, but I guess we got there. Round 3 here. Hand looks pretty reasonable. A little slow with the flats, but still not too bad. Start with that, ping up for 1. Bridge. We'll play an Inspector and pick up the flats. I guess Restvale Bridge could be Jeskai, which would be bad if they want to, or like Mardu Wildfire and they could blow this up, but I was expecting Boros or maybe Mardu Synth. Nothing to play here is interesting. Refurb's good. We'll swing for 1. Kind of waste this mana though, because I can't play this Familiar even if I play this Inspector, because only 2 artifacts, so we'll just pass. They cycle a Jolted Awake. Interesting. Then they Lembas, play an Ancient Den and an Inspector. We can Tithing Blade that and then hit him with the Refurb, which we will do. Then flats and attack for 2. Pretty aggressive start here. I mean, pretty slow start for them as well. They play a Skyfisher, pick up the Lembas, and replay it. Alright, well, they did Scry at the top, but we get to cast this down, hit for 4, play the Glint Hawk, pick up the Refurb, replay it, and then also ping them for 1 with the flats. Discard a Candy Trail. They start with the Hawk, replay the Lembas, and an Inspector. Flats. Let's just... I could crack a Clue, but I actually think I just swing with everything, and then when they inevitably trade something, I flip a Tithing Blade to keep the pressure on. They do have a little bit of life gain with like Lembas, but they block an Inspector. Okay, fair enough. I thought they'd want to trade one of these, just save damage, but they go to 5. I could also, I mean, if I 1 in 48 draw my Suffocating Fumes, I could get rid of both of these guys. I don't think that the Tithing Blade's actually gonna, like, that's an 8-turn clock if they somehow stop us, so I actually think we will just crack a Clue. Ancient Den, so let's crack another Clue. And Bojuka Bog. I mean, they do have Jolted Awake, clearly, but I'm gonna assume that's not super relevant at this point, and we'll just wait on that. Play the flats. 5 damage from our mana base, by the way. Play an Inspector and a Skyfisher. Pick up the Lembas. They pass. Another Tithing Blade. Okay, now that we can play and flip another, I think we will just Tithing Blade them, and then flip one, and the next turn we can flip the other one. Not really a lot of reason to attack, so I'll just flip this blade. They bolt the Glinthawk. We'll pass. Play a Lembas. And another. A good amount of life gain against the blades. Glinthawk. So I can take a card and then still flip the Tithing Blade, or I could just replay the Tithing Blade. I think we'll just play the Hawk and replay the Familiar. Flip the Tithing Blade and Bojuka Bog them. Now they're going to have to start using Lembuses. Well, technically not this turn if they want to play it on the edge, but they do sack one now. So they're going to have to start sacrificing those to stay alive for a little bit, taxing their mana. They actually go on the offensive with the Glinthawk. I think that's fair. I'll just trade. We have the inevitability now. They jolted awake it. Okay, jolt it awake. Fair enough. Pick up the Lembas again. Scry some more. Hit them for 2. We get a Lembas. Get a Refurb. I think that's perfectly reasonable. We'll also crack this Clue. See what else we draw. Okiba-Gang Shinobi. I don't think if I swing with everything, anything's getting through, so I'm not going to chance that this turn, but it's possible I could go for it next turn if we have more creatures than they do. Crack their Lembas. And a Clue. They have a Kabira Crossroads as well. I thought I was the only one playing that. They swing with the Skyfisher, so we'll take it. This might give us the opportunity to hit them with the Shinobi, although they could have a Galvanic Blast up. But I think we're just going to swing all out. So I could just go for 3. Currently this is trading. I kind of feel like if I do it, they're going to have the blast. I'm just going to pass priority. And if they want to go for a blast, then I can Okiba in response. Perfect. They have a lightning bolt. That's perfect too. But this way I get all 3 cards from their hand. Patience works out sometimes. Ooh, that was so good. And they discard both their cards. We'll just play a Refurb to draw another card. We have an Inspector. We'll play that. I guess we'll crack it right away. And they concede. Yeah, that Okiba play was really, really nice. Although we were obviously in a good spot already. And also, they didn't see a single synthesizer, so that's obviously going to put a damper on their deck. We get Duresses and Dust to Dusts. And I don't mind an Arms of Hadar either. Take out the Fumes. They do have Jolted Awake, but honestly, it doesn't seem that necessary to Thraben Charm in response to that. Maybe they have a Makeshift that I want one for, so maybe keeping one in isn't a bad idea. Okiba-Gang worked right at the end there. I'm not sure it's going to work again, but it does feel like if we can catch them with no mana up, it can still be really strong. I think this is one where we cut like cast downs. We have Tithing Blades, Grimbaubles, and the Arms of Hadar. Omen's good. Probably cut a couple Inspectors. I mean, they were playing Rustvale Bridges, right? So I feel like Dust to Dust's all 4 feels pretty good. And they had an Ancient Den. Yeah, I'm going to keep those. Duress feels good. Definitely tough making cuts. I guess I could just get rid of a couple card draw spells. I don't know if that's really where we want to be, but we'll give it a try. They do have a ton of removal. Maybe I should just cut the Okiba-Gang after all and keep in one of our card draw spells. Especially because they know it's coming. Like, it's much better as a surprise. This hand looks decent, so we're going to keep it. Start with an Inspector. We might do the same. And then we get a Tithing Blade. I could just Duress them to try to snag a Synth or a Lembas. Yeah, I think that's pretty good if they only have like 1 Lembas in hand or something. Look at that. A Lembas, a Lightning Bolt, and a Seeker of the way. Not the best hand ever. A Mountain and their Seeker. So we can Tithing Blade one of them away. Obviously it's going to be the Inspector. But that's fine. I'm not too worried about them hitting for a little bit with the Seeker. Braided Bluffs. So we know they only have 1 unknown card. They hit for 2. Another Dust to Dust. Not really where we want to be. Let's play a Skyfisher just for mana efficiency. Pick up our Tithing Blade. We're missing lands, which is a little annoying, but if they don't get another creature, I can just kill the Seeker here. They do have a Skyfisher. Pick up a Plains, bolt the Skyfisher. Dust to Dust's obviously not looking great here, but Flats is good, so we can Tithing Blade one creature here, and then we can Tithing Blade the other one next turn with the Glint Hawk. They're keeping the the Seeker around, of course. Another Skyfisher. Nothing to pick up but lands, though, is nice for us. Another Seeker, okay. That's getting a little scary. Basilica's not bad, so we'll play the Hawk, pick up the Tithing Blade, replay it, and I don't think I care about this 1 damage right now. I think we'd rather just have untapped mana, depending on what we draw. They have a Thraben Charm. They're going to gain some life here. Down to 5. They play their Plains finally. Yeah, not in a great spot. We do get to play Inspector and take the last card from their hand, which isn't bad. This Refurb, and then just play another Refurb, I guess. Draw a card and a Glint Hawk. So we'll pick up a Tithing Blade, and we'll double block these guys probably, but they don't attack. Nice. Start with the Refurb, take their card, Tithing Blade, and swing with everybody in the air. We could draw a tap land, so I'm just going to crack this clue now. We'll pass. And they concede. We're pretty close there. The Dust to Dusts might not have been the right cards to bring in, or maybe they just had a bad draw. They did end up discarding a Great Furnace and an Ancient Den, so a different draw we definitely could have gotten there with the Dust to Dusts. But we were able to take control of the game right at the end there. They did draw a lot of lands, and 3 Refurbished Familiars is pretty brutal, which they mentioned in the chat. All right, we're on the play here. This hand looks great. We have on curve Inspector, Tithing Blade, Glint Hawk with Tithing Blade, Core Skyfisher with Tithing Blade. This is essentially 1, 2, 3, 4. So assuming that we draw a 4th land and they have creatures to kill on turns 2, 3, and 4, like this hand is phenomenal. Razortrap Gorge. Okay, well if we're against Rakdos Madness, then suddenly Tithing Blade doesn't seem as important. We'll swing for 1, and I'm trying to think. I could just Skyfisher pick up the clue if we want to go aggro, or I could just Skyfisher pick up the Thraben Inspector. I think that's a little better. I mean, obviously it's more value, it's a little slower, but it's only 1 damage difference for like a turn, and it's 2 extra cards, so I think we'll see. They do grab the prize with a Snacker. We get a Suffocating Fumes. We can Tithing Blade that away. I don't know if that's just a fool's errand, but I think it's the main thing to do right now. It does keep us not taking damage here, and it gets our Glint Hawk down so we can keep going aggro. If they pick it up again, we can Tithing Blade it, we can Suffocating Fumes it, so I think this is the right thing to do. I also really don't want to pick up lands because it's going to be hard to contend with them if we don't have a mana advantage, at least a little bit of one. Grab the prize with an Alms of the Vein. Okay. Puts us to 13, brings back the Snacker. Forlorn Flats. Well, I will swing for 4, Tithing Blade their guy again, Spectre, and Flats them. I don't know if we're going to win this race, but we got them down to 15 here. We have far more damage every turn than they do. But of course, they just have a lot more burn in their deck than we do. So I think it's going to be hard for them to do 13 this turn, but I can definitely see them cleaning us up by the end of next turn. And can we get them by the end of that turn? Probably not. There's a Faithless Looting. Snacker, Kitchen Imp, Fiery Temper. We're down to 10. I could definitely use a Lembas. Down to 9. And they hit for 2, so we're down to 7. Jeez. Okiba-Gang is kind of cool, I guess, while they're tapped out. But then we just die, probably, to, like, grab the prize, Fiery, and a Bolt. I mean, we could crack a clue, but even if we get a Lembas at this point, we can't gain life off of it. Could hold up Suffocating Fumes. That doesn't seem to really matter. Yeah, I think we just swing like this. Pick up the Glint Hawk. Hit for 4, they discard 2 cards, replay the Glint Hawk, so we have blockers, and see what happens here. The Vampire's Kiss, discard Alms of the Vein, we're down to 2, and then they have the Lightning Bolt, more or less what I said. Alright, I think we bring in Thraben Charm, Navigator's Compass, and Duress. We can take out these. Cast downs are not necessary. Moment of the Dead, they're probably not blowing up our stuff that much, and we don't really care to draw really slowly or really late in the game, so I think we take those out. Refurbs, we gotta be careful about using them, but like if they're tapped out and we're able to take 2 cards from their hand with them, they can be really powerful actually. So I think we submit like that. Definitely wish we had 3 or 4 compasses for this matchup, so maybe maybe worth swapping like a Duress for another one. On the play here, ugh. This is not very fast. We don't have any sideboard cards, and unless they play Voldaren Epicure turn 1, before we've even played somehow, we have to play a Bauble for no value, then we have to Offering it, and then we can get a Familiar. This hand is not going to work. This one's a little better. Of course, it's pretty susceptible to Artifact Hate, but we have some life gain with the Lembas, and we just, we have some lands and some spells, you know? They just start with a mountain. I'm going to play a Vault of Whispers. It's risky if they get, if they have the artifact removal, but it's the only way that we're going to be able to potentially double refurb next turn. We don't need any more land. Duress is okay. Little late already, but that's fine. So if they don't blow up any of our stuff and they like tap out for a Grab the Prize, then we can go refurb, Glinthawk refurb. They plot a Highway Robbery, even better. So we're going to do just that. This could still be potentially giving them Snackers in the bin, but that's, you know, they're going to do that anyway. Instead, it's a Faithless and another Faithless. Not bad hits. Start with the Robbery, get a Fiery Temper going, play a Razor Trap Gorge and a Chain Lightning. We draw a Skyfisher. I can do the Familiar, hit them with that again, and I can Duress them. That feels pretty good. Duress, just double Lightning Bolt and the Vampire's Kiss. We're going to take the Kiss, because otherwise they just have some bolts. And attack for 4. And I think, knowing their hand, that I'm not at a ton of risk of dying this turn, so I'm going to wait on the Lembas until next turn, which could bite me if they get like a smash to smithereens or something. But we have a reasonable clock here that they might actually have to, yes, spend some lightning bolts on our creatures for, which gives us some more time. Pick off 2 of them. Ancient Den, I mean, that is not great. Grab the Prize with the Fiery Temper. What phenomenal 2 cards to have. Guess we're going to leave this Lembas in case we get a way to pick it up. We just got an Offering, which I think we're going to use. We want to keep these, so we'll just use it on this. Grim Bauble, not great. Oh, I should have probably mapped this up to grow a little bit, because I'm going to play an Inspector, crack this Lembas, and then, yeah, I have 1 mana left, which now there's no reason to, I guess, unless I really want to conserve that mana, which is possible, but probably should have tried to hit for the extra 1, though. Flashback of Faithless Looting, get a Kitchen Imp, bin a Snacker. We're going to take 2 off of that, but then we can pick it off. Down to 10, we get Glinthawk, which can take away another card, which is probably good. That's 1, 2, and then we have mana for Map and Clue. So I think we just start with the Clue, see if we get anything that changes it. Inspector. We hit for 3 here, they're down to 8, and I can play... Oh, I need the extra mana for the refurb. I was forgetting about that. So actually, we just have Glinthawk and Grim Bauble here. So in that case, we will just swing for 3. I think taking a card from them is the best way to try to survive here. Even if it is just like a land, but it was actually a Grab the Prize, which is pretty relevant. Which means they probably kept another Madness spell, since they have a Faithless Looting in the grave. They're going to Looting, get back Snacker, and a Fiery Temper. They do pick off the refurb. Worried that we could maybe finish them off there. I was trying to do the math. I don't think there's really any way we could get there unless we top decked Fanatical Offering into a Forlorn Flats. Then like double map would give us +2, and then the flats. But anyway, so we have Inspector. I guess we just play Inspector and crack it right away. See what's up first. Duress isn't bad. Stop them from doing something. Well, double Kitchen Imp is not bad either, because they're out of Faithless Lootings. So that hand's not great, actually. So I think we map onto Inspector so we can attack past. Another Inspector. I don't know if I want that. I think it's just a little slow. We need something a little bit more impactful, I think. Because we put into 4 here, but then they're going to leave back Snacker and play a Kitchen Imp, which means I can swing with everything, but then they block here, they take 2. Not the worst. I think I might be cracking this. Well, I don't have anything else to spend mana on, so I'm definitely cracking this Bauble in the upkeep. And obviously, if they get like a Grab the Prize to discard a Kitchen Imp into like a Faithless Looting and a Swamp, so they can play the other Kitchen Imp, like that's worst case scenario. But they're playing a little slow here, so I'm assuming they didn't draw anything amazing. Vampire's Kiss. Okay. Gain a little bit of life. Hit for 2. Leave open the Snacker. They're thinking about attacking, but that seems ill-advised. Unless they drew... No, they didn't draw anything. They just have the Kitchen Imps. So if they attack and I get a Forlorn Flats or a second Fanatical, then that could win us the game. If they don't attack, like I don't think they should, then we have to draw, like, Fanatical into Forlorn Flats and Grim Bauble to, like, pick off the Sneaky Snacker. So that seems tough. But not impossible. They do attack with the Snacker. Okay. So we're cracking the Bauble in the upkeep. And if we can find a Flats or a Fanatical, we're in a good spot. And that's a Flats. Let me just make sure I'm not miscalculated, but they don't have anything in the graveyard, and we know they're 2 cards. So, and I guess Compass is fine as well, but we keep them like that. Attack with the team, and give them a taste of their own medicine. Bam, for lethal. Alright, we're on the draw now, but I don't think anything changes. We still want everything we brought in, so let's just send it back. This hand looks pretty nice if we don't get Artifact destroyed. If they have anything to destroy artifacts, we're in a bad spot, but otherwise, looks pretty solid to me. Start with the Barons. We're going to play out our Inspector. Raven Charm isn't bad either, although it's going to be hard to leave it up for the first several turns. They're going to pass with 2 mana up. Well, that makes this worse, because I am going to... The main thing to do here is refurb, but they're probably just going to have a Fiery Temper or something, but what are you going to do? Alms of the Vein, fair enough. Yep, hit us with that, and we're going to Glint Hawk. And they can probably pick off the Familiar. Yep, I knew that was a possibility, so we'll just have to pick up the Clue. And we don't actually have 3 artifacts, so maybe it's just the Vault of Whispers. Yep, I think it's just the land. We don't even have a confirmed next land anyway, and no way to really draw to it, except for the Clue. Grab the prize with the Faithless. Definitely need some life gain. They Bachuka Bog, not super relevant. Duress. I mean, we're swinging for 3. Part of me wants to do that over just the refurb so I can take something. But if we do that, then we can't actually get the Glint Hawk down. So I think we're still just playing the refurb with the Glint Hawk. Although maybe I just want to Glint Hawk a land again because maybe we need the speed. Because they're gonna, if I pick this up again, they're gonna leave mana open probably. Plus I want to Duress next turn anyway. I think I actually just pick up this Den and we go for the aggro plan. We're not in a great spot, but if we can Duress a key card next turn, ideally that can slow them down enough. We have like a 3-turn clock here. Vampire's Kiss puts it perfectly at a 3-turn clock, so they can't gain any more life. Inspector's not bad either. Swing for 7. I'm gonna Duress. Ideally they don't have 3 Fiery Tempers, because if they do, or only Fiery Tempers for their spells, then I'm gonna have to choose one, and they get it for a red. But they have a Grab the Prize and a Lightning Bolt. And Faithless Looting in Graveyard. I think it's got to just be the prize, because next turn they prize Alms. They keep up their cards. Yeah. And they deal extra damage, and it's definitely got to be the Grab the Prize. Play an Inspector. They bolt us on the end step. Discard the Alms to a Blood. Not looking good. I guess if we can draw a Compass or like Kabir Crossroads, that could be good, but it feels like without some life gain, we're just going to fall a little bit short. Also discard a Snacker, which comes back. Didn't have Raven Charm up, unfortunately. Guess I have the Bauble for that, though. Another Bauble for it. Ugh, we also only have 16 damage if we over the course of 2 turns, which is not quite lethal. So even if we get another turn, we'd have to once again find like a Forlorn Flats. But I think we have to swing with everything and Grim Bauble. Or I could take the slower approach, leave one of these guys back to block, and then Clue to try to find life gain. That does not seem like a winning strategy to me. So I'm going to Bauble the Snacker down, and we'll pass. I think I just have to hope that they've drawn a bunch of duds the last few turns. There's a Mountain in there flashing back the Faithless Looting. Snacker and a Fiery Temper, so we're down to 3. But if we can find a Forlorn Flats, once again, we have lethal with just it. We have 2 cards to do that with the Clue token. Poor Skyfisher. I think we just have to crack a Clue. If we find the Flats, we can get there. If not, we're probably dead, but we might as well leave back a guy to block the Snacker since the attacks aren't lethal anyway. So let's hope and pray. It was the Flats! We're gonna get him twice! Twice with the Flats on lethal! Oh my gosh. It's a miracle! Woo! That feels incredible. Oh my gosh. That was amazing. All right, round 5 here for 4/5 of the marbles. Super removal heavy hand. So if we're against a creature deck, it could be really, really good. If not, pretty bad, but we're kind of the removal deck, so I'm already hoping to get those matchups, so I don't think you throw away a hand like this generally. If it was game 2 and we knew we were against like a high tide or something, I would obviously not keep it. But in this case, it feels, fine. Blue could be high tide, in which case we're probably just dead game 1 because we don't have fast enough clock and we don't have Duresses or anything. Unless we can Okiba them, which I think I did do before in a different league, which was phenomenal. But it could also just be Fairies or Terror, and it looks like Terror. So that's actually a really good matchup for us because we have so much removal. It's going to take a couple turns for us to need it, but when we do, we're going to be able to start taking away all their guys. I would love to not draw more removal, I will say that. And seeing as we already have 4 pieces of removal here, I'm certainly not keeping this Skyfisher for like another Tithing Blade. I'd rather get the pressure going and also draw more cards with this Inspector. It'll probably just eat a counterspell, but if it doesn't, then we get a little more pressure and more cards. A Mental Note, that's 4 spells. They could Terror for 3, which I would love, or they can play a cantrip or 2 first and then Terror, which would be fine too. They do Shuffle, and then they play a Serpent. More cast downs. I would love to crack a clue, get an untapped land, and then use a removal spell, but chances are that's not going to happen, and we can't take that chance. I'm going to cast this down because Tithing Blade gets around Ward, and so I'd rather have that for when they put actual terrors on the field. There's a Delver of Secrets. I would love like a Grim Bauble for that, but also I'd be fine not drawing more removal. Land is decent. We're just going to keep swinging, put the pressure on. I think maybe, well, we're going to play this land. We might cast down in their upkeep. Really depends. If the Delver doesn't even flip, I'm not going to worry about it. If it does flip, I'm still not super worried about it. I might actually wait to do it at their end step. They got a Deem Inferior. I will cast it down. I'm kind of expecting a Spell Pierce or something here, but then if not, we just get rid of it. And they Mental Note away the Deem Inferior. Good to know. And a Sleep of the Dead. That's pretty good for them. But yeah, I'm kind of fine either way that went. They Brainstorm, Ponder. Looks like they're looking for creatures, which is definitely good for us. Shuffle again. Island and nothing on the field. We're drawing all our cast downs, but that's fine. We do have a decent, not the fastest clock ever, but we're making progress. Let's crack a clue. Glint Hawk speeds up our clock by a turn, but then I have to get rid of my clue for no value. I think I'd rather just pass. I could crack the clue and maybe hit a land, but this way I can hold up a cast down for if they play a non-terror serpent like this guy. And then if they counter that, then maybe I can get a Tithing Blade through. They got the Spell Pierce. Basilica. Let's play a cast down. They have a Dispel. Let's play a Tithing Blade. See if they got the counterspell. They do. Oh, we can swing for 2 in the air. We still have another Tithing Blade. Can Basilica back this flats, because I think the damage could matter. Because if we hit him for 2 this turn and then 4 next turn with the Glint Hawk, the 1 damage could super be relevant. And again, they have a Sleep of the Dead that they can probably start using since they don't have a lot of cards in hand to tap 1 or 2 of these guys down. There it is right now, tapping down the Inspector so that they can get in for 6. And a Skyfisher. Definitely think that this Tithing Blade is going to eat a counterspell, but then I can actually play Glint Hawk and Skyfisher and just have a pretty decent army in the air. Of course, Sleep of the Dead's going to throw off like our exact count. Oh, Tithing Blade just goes through. Okay, that's also good by me. Attack for 2. Play the Glint Hawk. That works as well. Pick up the Tithing Blade. Play the flats. Ping them for 1. We're going to put down the Skyfisher and just pick up the flats, because that makes it so that any 2 of these creatures is lethal. So even if they tap down both Skyfishers, the Glint Hawk, plus the Inspector, plus the flats is going to be lethal. So no way they can get out of that, and they concede. Like I said, pretty good one for us. We also get Thraben Charms and Duresses, which are nice. We can take out Suffocating Fumes. Baubles only hit Delvers, which is relevant, but not quite what we need. Okiba-Gang doesn't feel terrible. They don't have a lot. We saw Demon Inferior, so they don't have a lot of instant speed interaction, and it's not a spell they can counter. I actually think it feels pretty good. Like, hitting him once with it is already really strong, and I don't think that seems unreasonable. So I think we can get rid of, I want creatures for that, though. I don't want to get rid of a bunch of Inspectors. So I think we can get rid of, 2 Lembas. We're already getting rid of the Grim Bauble, so I don't want to get rid of more than 2 Lembas. So we will get rid of 2 Inspectors then. All right, there we go. This hand seems solid. A lot of interaction, and that's really what you want. Lembas isn't bad. Mental Note, they hit a Spell Pierce. They're just going to pass. Just play a Lembas. It might get countered or annulled or something. Could just leave up a Thraben Charm in case they go for a big graveyard right away. Never love doing that. I think we just go with the Lembas. It feels like they're going to have things they want to counter more, but if they have an Annuller or Spell Pierce, they'll probably just want to throw it out, so that's fair. That means it doesn't eat a Tithing Blade later. Also, mental note. They hit 2 spells, so that's 1 mana terrors already. But no 1 mana terrors to speak of. Inspector. Okay, I think we just Duress now. Probably just eats a counterspell. Indeed. But now I can... They have to have a Spell Pierce or a Dispel, but I can try blowing up their graveyard. I mean, clearly they didn't have terrors, so I don't know if that's really necessary, but they're going to be looking for terrors. They could definitely just top deck one, so it seems good enough. I don't know. They have Thought Scours to start again. Mills a Ponder, and a Delver. Eviscerator's Insight. I could Tithing Blade this, but I actually think that I'll just Inspector and then Refurb. So the Refurb lands, I don't even need to Tithing this. I can just block it. They do have the counterspell for that. Delver flips off a Thought Scour. Swing for 3. They Thought Scour, hit a Ponder, and cycle a Lorien. Vault of Whispers, so we dodge Spell Pierce with Tithing Blade. If they have a counterspell, we can just get down a Skyfisher, but they don't. Hit for 1, and we'll pick up the Tithing Blade for the next creature when it comes. They have a Lorien revealed, that's pretty good. And then a Delver. So we'll attack for 3 here. I guess we'll crack a Clue first, just in case we hit like a Grim Bauble, although we took those out, so I won't be doing that. But we get another Tithing Blade, so even though we eat the Delver with 1, we have another for the first Snake. They Brainstorm, another Delver, and there's a Terror. So Glinthawk could be really good. I mean, let's see if they have a counterspell, but Glinthawk's looking good. Looks like they were going to counterspell it, and then they stopped. So I actually don't think I want a Glinthawk here, because it looked very evident that they had one, and they were just like, oh, what? But if I have a Glinthawk, then I can just pick up the other Tithing Blade, and then I also have a 2/2. So in that case, I might just swing with the Skyfisher and leave up the Insight. They go straight to combat, swing for 5. Do I want to sack a Tithing Blade or just chump with this? I think the extra damage could be pretty relevant, so I think we'll just take it. But they attack pretty hard, so maybe I should have. But we'll Insight a Tithing Blade. They counterspell that. Hopefully this means they don't have a counterspell for the Glinthawk, but let's see. Yep, that resolves. Could still have an Annul, but that worked too. All right, very nice. Now we get to swing for 3. We have a Cast Down for later, and a 2-turn clock here. Sleep of the Dead, though, is going to throw off that clock. Vault of Whispers. Well, I think we might as well just flip our Tithing Blade to help our clock, and we'll pass. They got a Delver. And another Sleep of the Dead from hand. They don't use another one, though. Like an escaped one. So they're holding up something. Another Skyfisher. We'll just swing for 3. They take it. So I'll play the Skyfisher. They might have a counterspell for it, but if not, I can just pick up this Flats, play it again, and they'll die on our upkeep. So we were able to get there. A nice 4/1 with GlintBlade, which is not a super easy deck to do well with, I feel like, in the meta, but pretty happy with that. Honestly, a pretty quick one for GlintBlade. Not the fastest deck out there. Definitely okay playing even like a slow control game, but got that whole league done in about an hour and a half. Of course, that's going to be condensed down in the video. But yeah, just a really sweet deck. I feel like there's just so much you can do with it. Tithing Blade is one of my favorite cards. Being able to play it over and over is great. Okiba-Gang Shinobi, definitely an older card that's fallen off a little bit, but still a card I really enjoy. And I always love Skyfisher and Glinthawk. So thank you very much to my patrons, including my $10 patrons, Howard Granger, Lars, JMW, Luca I, and Josh Greninger. I really appreciate the support, and I will see you all next time.